You might be wondering, what happens if you put a bunch of Goombas in jail? Today, we push the limits of Super Mario Odyssey by filling up a jail with as many Goombas as possible and seeing what crazy things happen as a result of that. The first thing we need is a jail for our Goombas. I put this cage here and it looks great because Mario can't get into it, but you might be surprised to see what happens when you load up the game with a Goomba inside this cage. The Goomba takes a few steps, and it can just walk straight through the bars of the jail. That is not a very good jail because we don't want Goombas to be able to escape from here. The reason that the Goombas can escape, and so can anyone who's in this jail, is because a lot of objects in games have collision detection from only one side. So this cage that's in Mario Odyssey is normally only solid from the outside. So I fixed that, and now the Goombas can't get out, and we now have our first Goomba in jail. This Goomba can run towards Mario all it wants, and it can try any angle, but it can't get out of that cage. If we let Mario enter this cage, or if we let him capture the Goomba, he can't get out, and if Mario exits the captured Goomba, then he's stuck in jail with this Goomba. It's a bit funny to see Mario stuck in jail with the Goomba, but Mario actually can get out of the jail by warping to another checkpoint. And the Goomba will still be stuck in the jail when Mario goes to visit the Goomba. Two Goombas in jail works how you might expect it to, and if Mario enters the cage, these Goombas show no mercy to Mario after being locked up in there. You might be starting to wonder if we could capture a jail full of Goombas and what it would look like to have a Goomba stack like that in here. So let's add some more Goombas. Once we have 10 Goombas in this cage, they're starting to get a bit jittery in there because of how they're colliding with each other and pushing each other away in such a small space. As Mario gets closer, the Goombas are ready to snap at him as if they're hungry fish that haven't eaten all day, and they're running all over each other, creating multiple layers of Goombas and bouncing up and down. I wanted to try capturing the Goombas that were in here with Cappy, and the most Goombas that I could get into a stack was 4. I can't tell if maybe I got 5 before dying over here, but once you have 4, it's really hard to jump on another Goomba because there's not much room at all to jump when you're in this small cage. And the funny thing about the Goombas in this stack is that they get a little squished because of this small cage, and the feet of the Goombas get pushed slightly into the head of the Goomba below it. So it looks like the Goombas here all have monk haircuts, but that's actually the feet of the Goomba above it and not its hair that's around its head here. When we have 25 Goombas in jail, there are 2 layers now, and they're even more jittery than before. They're bouncing around like unstable electrons, not sure exactly where they should go, but popping from spot to spot quickly. Mario just stands here though, because he knows that he's safe out here. And although it might sound dangerous to enter a crowded place like this with 25 Goombas, Mario is able to stomp his way through all of them and remain the only standing victor at the end. With 50 Goombas in the cage, it's starting to look like the Goombas are pieces of popcorn that are bouncing up when the popcorn is getting ready, and you have a lot of overlap between the Goombas on the bottom layer here. Mario walks back and forth around the cage, and the Goombas inside are going wild, as if they are saying, "Just you wait, Mario! Just you wait until we get out of here, Mario!" Even though there are so many Goombas in here, our Goomba crushing expert can squish through them and get a lot of coins very quickly. But it's too bad that defeating these Goombas doesn't let Mario get out of jail. And if you're interested in more about Mario in jail, my most popular video is actually about putting Mario in jail in Bowser's Fury, and that video has 1.8 million views, which is pretty crazy, so you might enjoy watching that video after you're done watching this one. With 100 Goombas in jail, the game is starting to get very laggy, and Mario's movement seems like it's in slow motion. There are multiple layers of Goombas, and when they notice Mario and get angry, it's as if this giant mass of Goombas is a single entity that all has a single shared will. A Goomba blobby mess with many eyes and feet and eyebrows that just wants to take out Mario. And I took this capture at the perfect moment because Mario has this smug little smile on his face as if he's saying, "Yes, I captured these Goombas," and he's so happy about it. Mario jumps over the prison, getting close to the top of the cage, and the Goombas inside are going wild. They are almost frothing at the mouth. And once Mario heads into this cage, the pancakening begins. Mario bounces around the cages of the walls, flattening the Goombas like an anime swordsman protagonist, the Master Goomba Slayer Senpai who is adored by all of the nearby toads. But this still isn't the limit. I was able to go up to 125 Goombas in a single jail where things were even crazier and the game was even laggier. The nice thing about snapshot mode in Mario Odyssey is that the game isn't laggy once you're in snapshot mode. So we get to see these Goombas in high definition, and Mario looks shocked to see so many Goombas in jail. Mario has done some hard work rounding up all of Bowser's minions here, and when he enters the cage, the Goombas put up a really good fight here against Mario. My favorite part about this is that the game gets less and less laggy and it runs more smoothly as you start to take out more of the Goombas, and eventually Mario can run around freely in the cage. If I went up to 150 Goombas in jail, the game wouldn't load. But if I removed later parts of the level and later objects from this kingdom, then there were less objects being loaded, so I could add more Goombas instead. That's why right now there are even more laggy Goombas in this jail, and if you look forward into the level, you can see floating chain chomps because I removed parts of the ground up ahead. This is getting about as laggy as a Super Mario Maker 2 multiplayer match, so this is something Mario is used to. I wonder which of these Goombas has a poor connection. I removed a lot more objects and enemies from the level, and I wanted to see what would happen if we put about 200 Goombas all on the same spot with the cage removed. When the level loads, Goombas are just being spit out from the center and pushing each other away as a bunch of clueless Goombas wander around. I wanted to try stacking up these Goombas after Mario and Cappy captured them, and it was surprisingly a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Sometimes the stack would just fall over and I wouldn't take damage, but sometimes I would take damage and the stack wouldn't fall over. And when you die when you're up this high, it takes a while for Mario to fall down into this screen like this. But I wanted a bigger Goomba stack, so I was trying my best to capture as many Goombas as I could in my Goomba stack by luring them away from the center, then picking off the Goombas from the edges when they were farther away from the other Goombas. I've read the book The Art of War before, and this is exactly what that book prepared me for. We were starting to get a pretty impressive Goomba stack, and the physics in this game are seriously impressive. Look at that bouncy action when you jump on a trampoline as a giant Goomba stack. I have never seen anything like this before, but oh boy, am I glad that I got to see a bouncing giant Goomba stack. You can click the like button if you like giant bouncy Goomba stacks. The most difficult part about having Goombas join our Goomba stack at this point was that the Mario Goomba at the top was now so high up that he's too far away from the Goombas on the ground, and some of the Goombas on the ground would not load if we weren't close enough to them. And I don't know about you, but that is not looking like a very stable structure to me. If this was a part of a bridge, I would not want to go across that bridge, or under that bridge, or anywhere near that bridge for that matter. If you're starting to think that collision is a little funny in this game, watch this. Here is a jail with normal collision placed in a spot where it isn't normally supposed to be. There's a Goomba that escapes the jail and it sinks through the floor. This happens because this jail is solid only from the outside, and once the Goomba gets far enough out of the jail, the floor of the jail pushes the Goomba down through the floor of the level. And that Goomba looks pretty shocked when it gets caught. There's some interesting stuff that happens in this game when it comes to sinking through the floor, and I have a lot more videos planned for testing out this game. So what is the limit for the most Goombas that you can put in a jail, or the biggest Goomba stack that you can have? The answer is, it depends on which kingdom you're in and what else is in the kingdom. If you start removing stuff from the level, you can probably squeeze in a few more Goombas into the level and see some interesting stuff. If you like seeing what is possible in games, interesting and funny experiments like this one, you can click the subscribe button if you'd like, because you'll be notified when new videos come out. I'm wishing all of you an amazing day ahead of you, and take care, everybody.